Conscious choices for complete education. What is complete education? Who decides? What kind of classes are you conducting there, Vaibhav?
Because the subject is a life.
That education is not about filling the minds. Today, I'm delighted to have you, Dharti, Vaibhav, and you are an MSc in physics, and
Yeah,
you taught at Sri Aurobindo Ashram and Mirambika.
yeah, I was a teacher in Merambika School, which is part of Sri Aurobindo Ashram Delhi branch.
And you completed your yoga training in at Yoga Institute Santa Cruz, and also you got your certification as a coach from IIT Madras. And right now you're situated in Anhad, where I have been to with my family. I came there, and this is a farm located in Hyderabad, a little away from central Hyderabad. So, Vaibhav, welcome to the podcast. It's a joy to have you here. First of all, the first question: how are you serving from Anhad?
Namaste, everyone, and Namaste, Nalini. Thank you so much, first of all, for calling me. Yes, so from Anhad, I serve from two different ways. One is online, of course.
Mhm.
So I do take online classes, online sessions, and guiding teachers, students through WhatsApps, Zoom. This is one way. Second is we invite people, we conduct workshops, retreats in our beautiful farm campus. And yeah, just being with the nature teaches us a lot.
So, what kind of classes are you conducting there, Vaibhav?
So my classes, I can't sum it up as a subject because the subject is a life and a learning happens in the life as we experience something.
Ah.
So having a full experience of it, trying to understand it, inquire about that experiences, how
Mm.
to express that experience and do some experiments to enhance our experiences. So this is what we do. But per se, we took science, social science as a main base to study yoga, physical education, natural building, anything can become a part and a parcel of such a project. So we do a project-based learning in the farm.
Nice. Out of the syllabus question completely, I see brick wall behind you. Would you like to explain that?
So yeah. So this is how the learning happens. So it's
Uh-huh.
a very contextual thing, right?
Uh-huh.
So these are not the bricks actually, they are the stones called laterite stones,
Uh-huh.
which are local, like in this Telangana region, we find such a laterite blocks, but
Uh-huh.
it has been cut in a brick shape and the masons lays one above the other. So it is
Nice.
very good in terms of thermal insulations. So
Uh,
during cold, you don't feel too much cold. During heat, you would not feel hot inside.
and what is that between the bricks? Cement?
Yeah, it's a natural mortar.
Mortar
But nowadays we have replaced cement with the lime.
line. Nice. It's good to know. So coming back to the
Yes.
topic of complete education or conscious choices, do you give classes to children or
Mhm.
others also? Because
Yeah, so when we talk about complete education, it has, I would now talk about three different dimensions. One is the age group wise, so like 3 years to 24 year. That's a
Mhm.
one bigger bracket when we are generally in a learning mode as a student. Even though education started much before the 3 year and it continues after 24 also.
Okay.
But just to give a formal context of it, talking about the physical dimension, emotional dimension, energetic dimension, mental, intellectual dimension, and the spiritual dimension, psychic dimension of it. So all these five dimension needs to be covered, as well as from the outer part to the inner depth, not just talking about the outer, but from the
Mhm.
within also. So this makes a complete education, and how towards the end it would generate a livelihood and a right choices for living a life which one wants, because we generally get a degree, we get the job, or we start a business, but we forget in this process that how I would like to live exactly, or how ethically my livelihood is coming from. I should not harm the nature or the people in this competitive urge
Ah.
right? So that is also part of that conscious choices and the whole dealing of complete education through that. It's a vast. So I work with the children. I help preschools to design their curriculum, the foundational, which is very much needed because without that foundation, the longer journey would not been enabled. I work with majorly with the students in a middle school, senior secondary school, and then I train teachers also and adults, parents. So that's how I complete the whole spectrum.
Wow. Nice. So
Yeah.
schools, children as young as 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I bet they talk totla tota, right?
हाँ बहुत मजेदार होता है वो.
Both मजेदार. So what are the 5 aspects you cover? You said physical, mental, spiritual. These are the ones I got. What
Uh,
are the two?
yeah. So five is first is physical, the body dimension, the meta dimension of it.
Mm.
The second we call it in integral education as a vital, which comprises of a sensorial energy, the dynamic energy, life
Mm.
force. The
Mm.
better word is life force, the prana,
Mm.
and the emotion. So these are all combined together as a vital, dynamic life force emotion.
Mm.
Third is the mental aspect,
Mm.
leading from logic analysis to developing concentration and intuition
Mm.
also, and silencing the mind, which is important for getting the right intuitions. This
Mm.
is the third. The fourth is a psychic dimension, which is like you can say soul in us,
Mm.
the dynamic aspect of the soul within us. And the fifth one is the spiritual dimension.
Oh, okay. So you consider psychic different from spiritual,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
It
Wonderful.
is like individual to the larger universal and the beyond the world.
Hmm. It's taking a while for me to
Yeah.
absorb. I bet I should be a student there. All right. So
We
coming,
all are student.
we all are
Yes. That's why it's learning companion.
learning companion. Coming to that question. So instead of
Yeah.
teacher, you prefer to be called, or you chose the term learning companion, right? In what led you to this identity? How does it even change learning, calling yourself a learning companion versus teacher?
So it's a more of a reminder to myself and for the children with whom I work or the teachers with whom I work with,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm.
Uh, so in a nutshell, to say, if I say the teacher in the current system, it is sounds more authoritarian. Okay,
True.
so I wanted to break free from that authoritarian sage on the stage kind of a phenomena, and
Uh-huh.
how I can come to the children's level, their understanding. And that happens when I'm a friend with them. It's like a companionship. You have a friendship. So it's a different kind of relationship. Yeah, ancient India, we had a Guru Sishya Parampara and many learning happened. But
Mm.
that relationship was totally different. That student can go and ask any questions, can criticize the teacher also. But in today's world, just to think about it, it is beyond. It's difficult. So I wanted to break free from that image of a teacher and give some another identity to a teacher and build a real relationship
Okay.
with whoever I'm learning, maybe a student, a parent, other teachers, fellow teachers, and all. So, and I'm also learning a lot.
Exactly.
That is something which I realize may not be the subject wise, but from the life point of view, I have learned so much from my students. Like I can't count even. It's a blessing to have a students, and they teach you something very important life lessons.
I see you're having fun while you're
Yeah.
teaching. That is what I can see from the way you're expressing. So, coming to your background, your background is physics. You are MSc in physics, right? What inspired you to move from that field of education to this type of education, integral education, or spiritual? We call it spiritual pedagogy in US here. So
Okay.
I would like to know what inspired you to do this.
Two, three things happened like parallelly in those years when I was doing my master's. So first, I got a chance to work with scientists. And that was the first time I realized that we have not been taught science in terms of designing the experiments. We do the experiments in the labs and all that, but
Mm.
never designed the experiment until I graduated from the college and I started my master's journey and got a chance to work there. And then I found that there are something called scientific values. And then I found recently, I found in our Constitution of India, there is in the directive principles, like a fundamental duties, you can say, directive principles.
Mhm.
It talks about what we call scientific temper. So this is a term coined by our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ji.
Mhm.
Scientific temper. So nobody is talking, nobody is really working to build this. So scientific values are there. So I wanted science combined with the spirituality to bring that value. So as I started working, I was dissatisfied the way I was learning. You complete 40% of syllabus and you can score 70-80% of the mark and you would be called masters or even the PhD. Whereas reality, you can't fake. You know yourself, right? You can't cheat yourself. If I know I have studied only 100% or a 60% or a 40% of a syllabus, like
Mm.
just completing 40% of a syllabus currently in India, you can score easily 70-80%
Yeah.
just by studying 40%. That's the reality.
Mm.
Okay, if you are good trick enough. So I was very dissatisfied of those things. So I said, okay, let me venture into education.
Mm.
And because of the spiritual path and the practice I was following, I came across, like, it's a divine grace. They were guiding. So I came across integral education and I kind of relearning everything in the process.
Mm.
And that's how where I am right now.
Okay. So you just said science and spirituality. So how do you see science and spirituality complementing each other in today's learning systems?
So one, we need to go at the base of it. So the search of science and the search of spirituality from the philosophical point of view and the practical point of view is search of truth. It wants to find out that truth, what is behind.
Mm.
Science and spirituality both are very logical in a sense, but it goes beyond logic also. Science also goes beyond logic. Current space, we require a lot of scientific ways of teaching learning. And with the help of scientific advancement, we can customize the learning very easily. Like we can figure it out what would be good for one particular child, what kind of a schooling would be good for a child,
Mm.
what kind of a learning environment would be really beneficial for that child. And with that diversity, you know that oneness aspect from the spiritual part, that it's a soul which is evolving.
Mm.
The rest of the things are the outer manifestation. So keeping that soul also into the equation helps a lot in current scenario, I guess.
Mm. I'm I'm so inspired to ask a different question here.
It's okay.
It's okay. Continuation of what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Um, take it. Take any child, Vaibhav. But let's say a child is not interested in any education. Okay, wants
Mm.
to just learn music and have fun, not interested in knowledge. Do you think we should encourage that kind of habit pattern or way of thinking?
So it's not about encouraging a habit pattern. So we need to understand the where the habit is formed and the what we call in Hindi swabhava, the nature of that child. And the based on that nature, how the child would learn. If you have seen a movie Kung Fu Panda,
Right.
no, okay. So in that there is a panda who is he is just enjoys eating and cooking a delicious meal for himself and for others. Okay, but he lands up and he has this aspiration to learn kung fu from the best master, and he becomes the kung fu warrior. So now master has to teach him, and this fellow is like not able to move. His body is like that. He feels hungry. He can't concentrate and pay attention to anything. One day, master finds that he puts the cookies jars at somewhere top on the shelf, and now this is a big fat fellow. So he climbs up all the way and takes up the jar and eats the cookies, and master finds it that. And then he figures out that if I have to work with this child, I have to go through this channel of cookies, of food. So the rest of the training happens through the food. So that channel, we need to find it out. What is that channel for that particular child? So the channel might be the music. And then slowly start developing interest and opening the eyes of the student that these are the learning possibilities. If you don't learn, if you miss out this, you would miss out the real enjoyment. Your enhancement of your music will also not take place if you miss out certain other things. So we need to just be with the child and find out that channel. What is that channel through which that opening will come for the child? And the learning would start taking place, interest would start generated, and curiosity would be much more there, because any child is curious, very much curious. May not be showing up,
That's
but
so
they are
right.
curious. They are curious. Science part helps us a lot from the outer dimension. Let's say, let's divide that little bit for a understanding purpose. That science, let us say, science is more from the outer perspective, and spirituality more from the inner perspective of it. So from the outer perspective, I would require various tools to diagnose and figure it out. I'm using the word diagnose to figure it out: the level of the child, the reasoning capacity,
Mm.
postures capacity, attention capacity, okay, the reading comprehension. So that is very scientific. You can devise those things very scientifically, right? And you can customize the learning accordingly, right? Some child might take 3 hours to learn one concept, and child might take 1 hour. So that's where I'm talking about the science part of it, because it's a very measurable. Science is very measurable, right?
Evidence
So
based.
yeah, evidence based, right? As you said. So it requires a very sharp observation. Like Maria Montessori, she was a doctor. So she has a very precise observation of each and every child. So having that precision of observation, unbiased observations, right? So now this unbiased observation comes from the outer part, from the science. You can't cheat. You can't bias your result to prove something, right? You need to be very neutral and unbiased in science from the outer perspective, right? Similarly, from the inner perspective, how now this complement, like, so from, it's very easy to say, okay, be unbiased and observe, right? But I have my own emotions, I have my own feelings. Somewhere inwardly, I have my own biases, I have my own opinions also about something. I might be left wing, I might be right wing, I might be centrist or whatever. I am teaching social studies currently, constitution, right? But I am not, I don't want to reveal anything of this. I want to remain neutral when I am talking with my students around it, right? So now when I want to do this, I know this scientifically from outside, but from inner, I would require some bigger anchoring, somewhere a deeper piece, because a childhood might provoke me with some sentences, or they would come up with the stories with their own opinion or whatever they are hearing at their home, right? So whatever they are hearing, unfiltered, they are very raw, they tell unfiltered things to you, and that might provoke you, right? So you would require that inner anchoring, that centering part. Even though I know scientifically and all that, you need to be unbiased and a neutral and all, but how I would do it inwardly. So that's where the spirituality would complement each time of it.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, neutrality and unbiased observation are central to your method, and you explained it very well. So coming to the next question, your work adapts practices based on place, time, and state of a child, or mental state, or inner or outer state of a learner or a child. So I want you to explain how this contextual approach works in real life. These are all learning at school. These are great, but when it comes to the real world, real time, how do they even apply?
So something there is a one term in education called learning moments. I
Mm.
don't know who has coined this term called learning moments.
Mm.
So uh, until you are not ready to learn something, even if I tell you thousands of a things, I show you thousands of a video, you do thousands exercise, nothing will take place. Okay. You
True.
would feel I am learning, I am studying, but nothing really has changed. Learning is like that shift, that change, which should take place. So we are in a pursuit, whether in a real life scenario, I need to think of one example maybe, or maybe a question to work around.
Fine.
But it's very interesting. The children connects it so variety of ways and so much differences. Like just last week we were talking. Constitution of India gives us justice, and we have a whole judiciary system. And then one child asked me that if evidence is not found, how we will give a justice? So that's where we went into logic. And I was explaining what is the logic and how the judiciary works based on evidence. And
Wow.
once I said, yes, I have seen it. And some Buddhist monastery child has visited that they are doing debate, and one child puts an argument, one student puts an argument, and the another, if they don't agree, they have another logic, another argument. So they put a clap like this, and then they put their statement. So they are debating about it. So we have forgotten this art of debating, of putting argumentative, right?
Mhm.
We became somewhere, I don't know where we have lost these traditions and all, right? But I could have just talked about what is judiciary, what is logic and all, but that child related with some experience of debate, something which child has seen. So that's a particularly time contextual, a place based, right? So some conversation might have evolved between parent and a child at that point. But also it sometimes happens that we want to keep on teaching, keep on learning. That doesn't happen in a practical life.
Mm.
There is certain capacity every learner has, as well as every teacher has a capacity, right? So it's very contextual in a real life scenario. You can easily sense if you are with the students, or for yourself also, you can easily sense, right now I'm in a mood of a learning. I have that learning moment, or I'm not yet there to really learn something.
Okay.
I don't know whether this makes a sense. It's a more experiential.
That's what I understood it as. How does it even work in real life? You learn whatever you learn in school, but when it comes to real life, you're able to use that knowledge and able to customize your response for that particular situation.
You're cognitively relating it. Your cognitively relationship is getting built up.
Okay.
So it's
Sounds
a cognitive relationship and affectionate relationship, which both needs to work together in
mm,
that place. We talk about the mood of the child and the mental state of the child. That's a affectionate and a cognitive state of the child, in which the child would able to relate to the outer circumstances or the outer environment based on the previous knowledge which child already has.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, I like that part or that example of Buddhist children
Mm.
monks. They're
Yeah.
able to put their thought out by doing this action or this gesture. That means they want to interrupt or they want to interject. Right?
Yeah.
This shows so nicely that they want to interfere or they want to put their thought at this point of time. This is so nice. Is that what it means, Vaibhav, or did I interpret it wrongly?
That is one of it. So if I'm arguing something
Huh.
for, and we want to place something against it, you need
Mhm.
to interject that I disagree on that, and I have my next part.
So
You do
beautiful.
this, and then you say my statement is this, my argument against that or for that is this. It's very
Wow.
interesting.
Nice.
And
So,
you can see the science, logic, and spirituality getting combined.
uh-huh.
Very.
I see that. And it's fun because student is seen, student is heard, Their
Yeah.
minds are heard, their thoughts are heard, and they're fully involved more than anything else.
Fully.
I think they're fully involved and they're fully heard, and they're engaged completely, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's another definition of a complete education, that you have fully immersive experience of it.
yeah, I like the word immersive. Okay. So let's go get into nitty-gritty details of what exactly you
Yeah.
do. So, what practices? I want you to point out for me, or maybe we can do a few things, a couple of things which are short
Yeah.
and simple. What practices help children and learners? As you said, you have parents and teachers also, other teachers also, right?
Mm.
So, educationists, let's call them. What practices help children and learners live more consciously, joyfully in the present moment? I want you to share with us particular practices that you use in your method of education.
Mm. So something I have learned from different people, and that's what I bring it into
Mm,
my classrooms.
mm,
So a lot of gratitude towards all of them. I don't want to name it everybody right now here, else time will be short. So one thing which we do definitely is we keep on dreaming and aspiring. So in the sessions, we just close our eyes and just we sit observing, and we aspire something or we dream. And that's what we try to draw it out for younger children, like 8 year, 10 year, 12 year.
uh,
Even for the adult, it can work. But that is, I think, is the central part, to have that aspiration, to dream about a better future, better things, what I would like to be
mhm,
or being part of it. One. So it's a wonderful exercise. The second thing which we keep on doing is we connect with our breath. We observe our breath and we move our pen
mm.
as along with our breath. Okay, so whatever movement, maybe right now not pen is not there. You can imagine there is a pen and you can just move your hand
I do.
gesture with your breath. Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready.
uh,
Huh.
yeah. So that also helps to kind of synchronize and align oneself, the inner part with the outer
Mm,
being a lot.
mhm,
That also brings a lot of awareness and attention. Then second thing which we do in our sessions more often uh, is setting an intention. So before I start a session, we set the intention. Okay, today we're going to do this while being. So today I'm going to do 10 mathematical questions while being peaceful, or while being curious, or while being enthusiastic,
mm,
or while being attentive. So this doing and being, we combined and set the intention at the beginning.
mm,
And towards the end of the session, we reflect around it. So this is one simple classroom practice which we have found working quite effectively with across age group. And it is good to, it's like a sankalpa,
mm,
that you put a sankalp and then towards the end you have a chintan manan about it. It happened, didn't happen, what was the causes, that I couldn't pay attention. I couldn't ask the question. I thought that I would ask the questions, but no questions came today. I was not that curious, maybe.
mm.
So
So they're
simple things like this we do.
watching their own state of mind and
Yeah,
seeing that it is changing every day, and that makes them or helps them move closer to themselves. I see that. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Uh, Thank you for sharing those. I think I could use some of these in my biology class.
sure.
Daydreaming. I remember I used to be such a dreamer, and I don't think I felt good daydreaming like that. And I used to feel so guilty that I wasted so much time, or I'm such a dreamer, or else when I'm supposed to be conscious and supposed to be learning, I'm daydreaming. But you're encouraging that in your classes. That is so
Yeah,
good. That is nice.
very much needed.
Essential. Yeah, because this improves our creativity, I believe, right?
Yeah.
This helps us, this nourishes our creativity, grows our creativity, develops our creativity, and
It works on both the sides. creativity as well as the critical thinking too, because you can detach yourself, like, because it's a dream, you can
Ah,
go and take a very higher level view of it, like a bird eye view to the things easily. Then it
nice.
is easy to find out, critically analyze things also.
Nice. That I could never think of myself thinking critically when I was young. It developed much, much later. So, and also I was drawing the draw as you breathe, and I
Yeah,
see that it very much resembles my heart, that cardiogram, cardiography, right? ECG. It's very much
yeah.
like that. So it looks like
It's
I'm.
also good to because mind would start interfering. It would ask you to draw something, but that's where the clue is that to move away from that continuous mind chatter and really get into that mental silence for intuitions, for creativity, higher ideas to reach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And anyway, this is an evidence that I'm
Yeah.
very much alive from inside. So that is good.
Yeah.
No ECG needed.
Good.
It's quite evident. I can draw it myself. What sadhana forms an important part of your work? You give so many practices. What one practice that I would like you to highlight that is important part of your work? That strengthens
Um,
attention
for
or
me,
awareness or conscious decision making, any of these.
for me, it works like this: aspire, remember, and offer. I put it in this formula of aspiration, remembering that I have to offer this work, and then forget about it. So I'm not using the word surrender because I I am still trying to understand and trying to still do it, not yet complete in that form. So offering is the better word. That okay, I aspire for this. I'm doing something, and I keep on remembering why I'm doing it, and keep on offering that to the highest, and then I forget about it. So whatever best will come eventually. May not be today, but hopefully tomorrow.
Mm. Okay, so you mentioned a couple of things. I'm connecting the dots. You earlier mentioned truth, and just now mentioned aspiration and highest self or something higher. So, what role does aspiration for highest truth even play? Or let's go first in steps. What is the highest truth according to you, and what role does this aspiration for highest truth play?
I can't answer the first question. What is the highest truth according to me?
Acha.
Uh, because that is evolving thing. Whatever I would say right now would be false. So I would not answer that. But yes, definitely aspiring for the highest truth. Highest truth is something where it would be a very harmonious relationship with at every level,
Mm.
with myself, with the others, with the nature. It would be very harmonious. There would be no dichotomy. There would be no violence. There would be no. It's a beautiful harmony. You can imagine beautiful harmony, right? That's the highest truth. Right now, I have some truth, but your truth might be different. We see all those fights and all. So better not to talk about those things.
Mm.
So for me, the aspiration for highest truth is that where there is a highest level of harmony at every level exists, which brings that delight, right? So I aspire for that highest level of harmony in every level, which is beautiful, which is delightful for that coexistence. It would start organizing. You start aspiring for that highest truth. You start remembering you are doing that. That highest truth would also start organizing life for you if you are aware, and you if you allow it, it would do it everything for you.
I believe what you're saying is if you are seeking it, then it will come to you. For me, just like what Vaibhav has said, it has been evolving. At one stage, I used to idolize Rama and his character.
Yeah.
And I used to see Rama is the best, and I would like to become like him. And so honest, so obedient, right? So pure. And that is what I was aspiring for. And then later on, I saw that no, that is something that I'm idolizing a character, and it started evolving, it started changing. And so, as you change, as your thinking changes, as your understanding changes, I believe it changes as well, and it will help you figure it out, or it will help you explore, and as well as it will help you undisclose as you go. If schools and parents were to adopt even one principle from integral education, how do you see this entire world changing, the society changing at large? Explanation.
Uh,
Mm.
so we are all unique characters in this world, but we are all equally unique. It's not like I am more unique than you or you are more unique, something like everybody is unique. So if I start seeing every child, every individual as that unique person, and just like I like my own freedom, I give that freedom. I even give freedom can't be given, but enjoying that part of it, the process of it, I think that principle would, because right now we are more moving towards making everything homogeneous, not heterogeneous. But how to live in a heterogeneous harmony, that is one principle, right? And that thing is like if I start seeing the divine in everyone and I start treating myself and others from that perspective, it would be very peaceful, very joyful environment to learn to begin with. It would change drastically, everything will start changing.
Hoping for a beautiful, more fun-filled and pure world going ahead, with more educationists like learning companions like Vaibhav. I believe
True.
they are molding the new generation, and I can't wait to see a beautiful world, a changed new generation altogether in coming years, Vaibhav. So thank you. I know.
Yeah, we aspire for that.
Wonderful. Let's wrap it up now.
Sure.
And hoping to do another session like this with you, and looking forward to learn much more from you. So listening to you, Vaibhav, it reminds us that education is not about filling the minds, but it is about creating conditions, mainly making conditions or creating conditions for the soul to grow. Yeah. So
Exactly.
something here I would like to read. I tried to do some wordplay with your physics terms. In a world,
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
okay, in a world rushing towards speed, metrics, and performance, your work gently invites us back to presence, purity, relationships, and becoming conscious. So, thank you for this offering. Thank you for this contribution. Thank you for being a learning companion, not just for children, but to parents, educators, and also helping us reimagine what is true education is all about. Yeah. For those who wish to
Thank
explore
you.
more about for Vaibhav's work, you can find information at joymai3wixsite.com. And let me quickly show you Vaibhav's website that he created for us and with his work. This is your
Yeah.
website, right,
TIC.
Vaibhav? Would you like to go over anything?
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a landing page which asks you to pause first and then enter into the website.
Yeah.
This is just a landing page.
Pause and
Yeah.
connect.
And
Okay.
then you can click on the classroom to go and get inside the classroom. Or you can do the checking your own reflection of things
Uh-huh.
too.
Okay. Check out this website and learn further about Vaibhav's work, about conscious choices of complete education, how to create choices or to create complete education. Thank you, Vaibhav, and namaste.
Thank you so much, Nalini. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Until next time, live consciously, live with awareness and open heart.